Okay, so a couple things to keep in mind. Often you're going to find a value in one triangle, and then you can solve the other triangle. Keep in mind, I highlighted this for a reason. Only round final answers. So it's okay to round, but it's never okay to use that number. Never ever. You'll always get it wrong. Okay. So draw an arrow to that. Put a square around it. Make sure it's big so that you remember not to round unless it's a final answer. Okay. So here's our diagram right here. Please label this information on your diagram. Go. Okay, so we should have QS as 32. Angle PQS is 50 degrees. Goes right here. And angle RPS is 61 degrees. It goes up top. So what we're trying to do is find this entire length QS. So QR, pardon me. We know QS is 32, so what we're going to do is figure out RS. Once we know RS, we'll know the entire length QR because we can add. But in order to find X, we're going to first find Y. So what we're going to do is use 50 and 32 degrees to find Y, then use 61 degrees and Y to find X. Okay, so sometimes you're going to have to add sides together at the very end. So right now, label your HOA and find Y. So Y equals 38.1361. Keep, 3 or 4 decimals just to remind you. Now on your calculator, see all these decimals? I'm going to use them. I am not going to press clear on my calculator. I'm going to use all those decimals. Okay. So now we're working the second triangle on the left, using 61 degrees and Y to find angle X. If it's a new angle, label your HOA. So label your HOA one more time, decide which one to use, which ratio that is. Okay, label your HOA. Which ratio are you going to use? Good. Well done, Jasmine. So 10 61 degrees equals opposite, which is 38.1361 over Y. So on my calculator, I take this number and I'm going to go divided by tan 61 and get 21.139. Everyone should have their calculator out and practice this, please. And so I can take that number, QR equals 21.13. Yeah, Amron? Sorry? Oh, you're right. Sorry, I should have used the letter X, shouldn't have I? Oh, I totally screwed that up. Okay, let's go backwards. Erase. Thanks, Simon. So, it should be X over 38.1361. That actually makes it easier, doesn't it? Okay. So when I go to my calculator, do I have the number I want on there? No. So I'm not going to use the decimal. I'm going to go backwards and get that number again. Okay, to keep it accurate, sometimes you have to go back, then you have all the decimals. Then I can use that number and go times tan 61. You get 68.799. Okay. Now that I found x, which I should have, then you can go and add. So plus 32. On the calculator, that's easy to keep your decimals. And now we should round to the nearest meter. So 101 meters. Okay. Make sure you round now for your final answer. Okay. Pardon me? It's in millimeters? Thank you. Millimeters. Okay. Good. Did I solve it right? Any questions? Okay. Good. Let's go on then. Now we're trying to find an angle BEA. So what we're trying to do is find this entire angle right there. What we're going to do to help us find that angle is first of all find this. Well, we can find that angle easy by doing your 180 minus rule. But then to find this other angle here, what we have to do is we have to find the side, then use the two sides to find the angle. So let's start by finding side x. Go. Using 3.7 and 39, using the triangle on the right to find x. So now that we found x, now we can find angle theta, or let's call it y, capital Y. Okay. So we're going to use 4.6 in x to find y. What ratio would that be? Label your HOA. Okay, so calculator issues. Look up here. If you have a new calculator, this is harder to do. What you want to do is take your decimals, 2.328, all of them, divide by 4.6, press equals. Then go cos -1 and press your A and S button, and then equals. If you have an old calculator, watch me. It's so easy. You take your decimals, go divide by 4.6, press equals. Now for us, it's in the right spot. So we just go inverse cos, and we get 59.5894. So I want everyone to try it on the calculator so that you get 59.5 degrees, which we're going to round up to 60 degree, because we're looking for the nearest degree. If you have any issues with your calculator, come up. So that's not the answer to the question though, is it? Because they wanted to know the whole thing. So first of all, let's find angle CEA. Okay. So angle CEA is going to be this top part in red. So we're going to go 180 minus 90 minus 39 degrees. we get 51 degrees. So then the angle we want, which is the entire thing in green, angle BEA, that equals 60 plus 51, which is 111? Good. 111 degrees. And that's the answer we want. Put a box around it. Okay? Now once we found y, since we're just adding, it's no big deal if you round at that point. Okay, because it's not going to change the answer because we're just adding it to another whole number. Okay? Questions? Comments? You guys must keep all your decimals. It's okay to write down 3 decimals, but you use everything, not just the decimals you write down. Okay, question 32. 2 buildings, 72 meters apart, underline that. There's a shorter building, and you're on the roof. Angle of elevation is 27 degrees. Depression, 34 degrees. Find the height. That's a lot of info in 2 short sentences. Underline it, Harbier. I did it not because I don't know how to do this. It's because it's a good skill to use. Okay. So here's the shorter building. Oops, did that again last time. Here's your shorter building. And here's your taller building. Because we're talking about elevation, depression, what must we draw? The horizon. So there's your horizon. Now the buildings are 72 meters apart. The distance on the ground is the same as the distance in the air. Buildings are not crooked unless they're in Pisa. Leaning Tower of Pisa. Okay. So keeping that information intact, we're going to have the angle of elevation to the top of the other building is 27 degrees. The angle of depression, where does that one go? It goes from the horizon looking down. That's 34 degrees. Okay. So what we do is we have 2 separate triangles. We can find this distance x and that distance y. How will that help us find the height? Add them up. Okay. Find x, find y. Go. Label your HOA, pick a ratio, find x, find y.
How far are we supposed to round from getting on this one?
I would go to 3 decimals and the final answer round to a whole number. Are my numbers correct? Okay, good. So this diagram is pretty complicated. You have two triangles within each other. It's helpful to draw those triangles separately. So I'm going to draw a small triangle right here. And we're going to draw the horizon because we're talking about the angles of depression. And that will be A. Then I'll draw the other triangle, B. It's going to be the same height. Whoops, use a different color. Same height, but a bit longer. And there's the angle, the horizon. So we want to know the distance between A and B. How we find that out is we find the entire distance for B and A when we subtract them. So there's B, there's A, and if we take this part away, we're left with the distance in between. Okay. So 28 and 24 degrees, put it out in the correct spot. 80 meters, put that in the correct spot on your diagram. Go. Be ready to erase it though, so don't do it in pen. So 80 meters goes here and here. 28 degrees, that should go on this triangle right here. It's outside the triangle. Oh no, what do we do? 24 degrees. Oh, it's outside the triangle. So what are our options? Yeah, you could draw the mirror triangle. Okay. And then the 80 meters can go on the other side. And you can find the distance up top, which is the same as the distance on the bottom. Okay. And for you guys, that might be the best option to do. Okay. So right now I want you to find, well, that should be X and X, one should be a Y. Find X, find Y. Go. Label your HOA, find X, find Y. So once you get your numbers, you'll do a subtraction, Y minus X. And I should write down the numbers. I'm just getting a little lazy because I've been around students all day. It's a joke. And I didn't subtract it right, so I have to go back and do it anyways. $29.2. So we'll round it up to 29 meters, okay? 29 meters apart. Good. I should do a short little sentence, shouldn't I? So sometimes you're going to have to subtract to find the pieces you need. Okay. Any questions? Okay, this last one is just like from your test, which we'll go over tomorrow when we have more time. Sometimes you need to put numbers on the other side where they're more useful. Okay. So we have a triangle on the bottom in red connecting A to C. Its AC is a shared side with a green triangle that contains AE. So what we want to do is find AC first, doing Pythagoras. Okay. So we square the other sides, which is a thing of beauty because then you're just going 50 plus 25. And so AC equals square root 75. Okay. Then you have to find AE. And so you have to do Pythagoras again. We're lucky because we have to find the hypotenuse each time. Because of that, we're adding the squares each time. Now for your bonus question on the test, you actually have to simplify. So you have to do your little ladder thing. Oh, good. Can we simplify this one at all? No, because there's no pairs. Right? If we had pairs, we could take one out. So our final answer is root 105. No decimals, folks. Okay, no decimals. Okay. Any questions? Your homework is pretty tricky. You want to make sure you get question 3 done before you leave and ask right away if you have problems with it. Okay? You're going to have to do some adding, subtracting of angles and sides right away for 3. Okay? Get started on your homework. Go.